Hello and welcome to a new video, a very original one. A sketchbook tour. This is my second completed sketchbook, which took me 7 months to fill. This sketchbook is a Leuchtturm 1917 in A5 landscape format, which was in the upgrade number 14 from October 2020. I started this sketchbook with the upgrade challenge, this one. The upgrade challenge at October 31st with the Sydney Opera. Then I forgot it for a few days before starting to use it again on November 7th with a bit of Pinterest Pinterest references, including a picture of Mary Navarro. You'll notice at this point a personal code I sometimes use when there's a little signature like this. It means that this is not a study or a copy from an existing drawing, but a photographic reference. With the following spread, you can see that I try as many as possible to reference the original author. So, for example, Azizla Swiftwind for this 3, and I think this first 2. I don't know here. This is an original by Gabriel Bricky, and here these are 2 originals by Behemoth. Well, I'm sorry for my pronunciation. I tried as many as possible to reference the original author, and this spread was a test with different fine liners, pencil, ink brushes, and colored water soluble markers. For this third complete spread, I tried a copy of a Muji 0.5 fine liner. I reproduced artworks from one of my favorite shows, Cowboy Bebop. If you never watched this show, I really recommend you to go watch it right now. The story, the humor and the music are incredible. Well, I'll go with some of the following spreads as they are just copies and studies. So, for example, Line of Action for here, I think a copy from Adam Stelmatzak. I didn't find already the references of the artists. Here are some studies. I don't know the artist here, and I continued to. Those spreads continue to be a bit of a test of different mediums on this paper. So you can see here artist unknown. I think this is Vargai. I think this is Hakutun. Here I don't remember if it was I think it was a study from a photographic reference. Well, you can see on this spread that I tried to retain graphic on the page, so I put a bit of watercolor wash. As it fixes the graphite, it sprayed it a bit with the water. Maybe you can see it here. And if you draw a bit lightly, it erases all contrast. So retain that you have to force your drawing if you intend to put watercolor wash over it. And you can see it right here. There was a lot of contrast with graphite, and it was completely erased with watercolor wash. So this spread is when I realized that the sketchbook could be a bit problematic, and you'll see it is a bit problematic because I tended to only put finished drawings in the sketchbook. Doing copies of artists I couldn't even reference. This one, for example, as I don't know who it is. This one I'm really not sure. Maybe it's Hakutun, but I'm really not sure. Next was once again is reference spread from an artist I really admire, Jamie Hewlett. This spread is consecrated about Shuri's most known work, Gorillaz, with Judy, Noodle, Murdoch and Russell. This new spread and the following are, in my opinion, some of the best spreads in this sketchbook, but they're unfortunately only composed of copies of other artists' works, such as Adamant Red, Kutching, or Lucas Sanderi. And this one I really like because it's in the middle of the spread, and you can see it, this sketchbook could really be lay flat. It could really lay flat. And Leuchtturm 1917's sketchbook are really good ones, I think. I bought 2 other sketchbooks from Leuchtturm 1917 in square format and in A4 portrait format. So like I said, these 2 spreads show one of the best points of the sketchbook. Apart from the paper quality, this sketchbook can lay flat and you can draw across the sheets separation without any issue, really. As you already observed, this sketchbook goes really well with alcohol markers. So for example, this one I think are Tombow markers and Nobren alcohol markers. Yeah, here we are Tombow markers. It doesn't suck up too much. Here are Tombow markers again. It doesn't suck up too much ink, but it sucks up some ink. But if you use alcohol markers, it's only I think 170 GSM. It's 150 GSM. So the alcohol markers still breathe through the page, and if you want to still use the back page, you have to do something. So here I put white acrylic paint and used Poscas on the left page. On the right page, it's a classic graphite drawing from Fernando Correa called Il Pilota, and here I even reproduce his signature as a copyright. And the graphite doesn't smudge on the other side as it's covered with acrylics. I'll go fast with the next spread, just reference from Goran Ghibli, maybe Lauren Michela, I'm not sure, Giorgio Baroni. And I go with, I'll stop with a bit on the 28th page. Sigurd Fellström with Wasteland Neck. References. So he's an artist I recently discovered with his short series called Wasteland Next. His work is really inspiring to me, and it was the occasion for me to test my graphite Derwent watercolors on this sketchbook, which goes really well with light washes. Here you can see another reference from Demizu Posuka. Sigurd's Fellström work really reminds me a bit of Jan McQuay, which is who is a great inspiration for me, as you can see on this page, and you could see it a lot on my first sketchbook tour. And with the following spreads are composed of a lot of figure studies. Some are nicer than others. Figure studies. References from Tunimated. Some are tentatives of stylization about the human figure. And if I know the model, I put it too. For example, my model here was Astrid Berges Frisbee. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Here you can see Ashley Moore, messed up Jude Carter, a really messed up Kelly Gale, one that I don't know, a reference of Mayonnaise or Mayonnaise, I'm not really sure which name they go by. I study with a brush, I think, an ink brush. Here on the center of the spread, now it's dated, because I put dates on the beginning, I put dates later, but for a moment I didn't put dates on my drawings. So it's dated with a duel that occupied us for the last months of 2020 and the beginning of 2021. It's not my will to enter in a political debate here. Let's just say it was a weird political beginning of a year. So this spread and following also marks a bit of an evolution for me. I need to change once again, artist unknown. So yeah, it's a bit of an evolution for me, as I use traditional quills and ink to do a lot of photograph studies of very unique faces. Snoopy, obviously. And at the end of January 2020, I didn't know what to draw, so I just drew Dan. After a photo by Pachamama Photography, I'm not really sure. And here I think is maybe another Wasteland Nest by Sigurd Fenström. I'm not sure, but or it's an artist that really looks like Sigurd Fenström, I think. So this next spread is once again composed of face studies, with my first try with imagery gouache. I noticed that the sketchbook really goes well with gouache, but I didn't use it a lot after that. Well, I skipped this next spread as it was for a future project, and the 3 following spreads are just redos from a sketchbook I abandoned somewhere. I forgot it. I mean, that wasn't a good one. You can see a lot of artists that I really look up to. For example, Corade, Krughan, M.G. Erickson, with Not the Brave, Amy Thompson, I don't know how to say it, Cameron Mark, I always messed up with his name and first name, and Jamie Hewlett, and my absolute favorite, Fucanary, I don't know, whose drawing are always gorgeous, and is really, with Tomatka, nice inspiration for me and into finding my style. You can't really see it in this sketchbook, but that's a lot with future videos you'll see, and with my 3rd sketchbook. I always numerate my sketchbook, but they're not. So here is a reference with Nano. It also comes from another sketchbook. And so as I said, I always numerate my sketchbook, but they don't really correspond to the. It's not really the 2nd. It's maybe the 3rd or 4th. Yeah, maybe the 3rd I used. But it's the 2nd to be completed, and completed with quite only finished works. So the following spreads are not really interesting, as they're only a bunch of different studies and copies with no particular stories or interest. It was all in February 2021. That was a bit of a tough period for me when I couldn't bring myself to draw, but I had to force it, facing some kind of art blog or art fatigue, I guess. Anyway, just a bunch of studies, a study of photography by Bruno Birkhofer. I think the model was called Rihanna, and you can see the alcohol marker bleeding through. And so this is actually this is one of my speakers, my tiny speakers with my computer, and it's inspired by the work of Eric Goyce, and you'll see it later on this page, which goes by Space Goose, and this is he just takes everyday objects and put them to he just redesigned them as spaceships. So yeah, that was my idea of spaceship with a speaker, computer speaker. Here is a try with an upcrate. I didn't make a video about it. It was all with I don't know how to say it, maybe clay and acrylic paint. I didn't make a video about it. I didn't really use it. Just some other references. So I don't know who the artist is, but I re-put his name in Kanji, maybe it's Chinese Mandarin scripture. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure of the model. It's Bogdana, a model you can see a lot on Pinterest. She was photographed by Sean Archer. Kind of a new thing I was trying. It's so she's Georgia Fowler, photographed by Will Vendramini. It was to be, you draw everything and you double the line with a bit of just draw a line and you go over it, but it's a bit different. So it's kind of style, and I redid it here with this dog. So here is a study of Mackenzie Foy, an attempt to March of Robots, so at the end of February, I guess. So an attempt to March of Robots, and only did a few. So it was for number 1. Don't really remember what was the subject of it. A bunch of end studies, a reference of Northern Boy. That's his name on Tumblr. My attempt at number 2, I think it was Canon or something like that, to Match of Robots. Just, animal studies, I'd say. We did done with Stabilo 0.4. I'm not really sure of the reference of it. So yeah, I have a bunch with different colors. Don't remember where I got them. A bit of hand studies, other references, not something really interesting or original. Something I love to do a lot in this sketchbook. I didn't do so much, but I liked it. So just, landscape studies, but only with ink in one color. Here is a study of, it's 3D models, I think. So it's called Lady and the Lion, Olympia and the Big Cat. It's made by Morris. I think it's made on Blender, and so you can use it to reference to draw. And the shadow is made with watercolor. I think it was black and purple. Now another reference. It's a 3D model. It's Sacrosanct Poses by Skywolf. Here I tried to do a drawing. Referencing, copying an artist, but only from memory. It's Worthy Kids, and is the original with no room for it. It's an extract from The Wire of Worthy Kids, which is an incredible video. I really recommend you to go watch it. Here it's just another figure study. The particularity of it is that I colored it in watercolor, and the more dark shadows are made with gouache. Anyway, some studies I was kind of fond of in a moment. It's just the same person, it's just different movements done by that person, and it's photographed, and you use it as reference. And you can see I didn't bother myself to draw the faces. So a dancer, skateboarder, a bunch of copies. Here it's from March 18th, 2021. Here I began to date my drawings. So here is Little Nightmares. So yeah, I began to date again my drawings with a kind of special code. So it's 22 Roman numbers for the month, and here is a symbol of 2021 in I think it was a monk drawing, so 2021 goes like this. Anyway, yeah, more decomposition of movement. So photography was by Jean Lorenzo. Here is something a bit special. So I was watching a YouTube video, and maybe the title something was "The Future Is Now," and I drew the icons of other videos that were recommended. So here is an icon. It's a band from Nordic countries called Heilung, and they're really, really awesome. Here I'm back. So this is once again it's Big Top Belly Burger, I think. Steve from Big Top Belly Burger, made by Worthy Kids. Here is a reference. So here is photo by John Carr, I think. It was just a bit of icon for scrawlrbox March 2021 scroller challenge leading lines. Here is pretty messed up Anastasia Cebulska, and for this spread I only used the colors that were in the scrawlrbox 2021. Here are just other studies, references. I really liked that one because it's a 3D model, and you could really put it anyhow you liked it, and it was really cool for studying. And I chose a complicated position to make myself mess this up. Anyway, another face, other references, and I don't know the artists, and even that end is a drawing, a copy of an existing artwork by an artist that I don't know the name of. So Little Nightmares, I don't know who these artists are. They're really cool style, but as I don't know the name, I only have those drawings as references. I didn't find others from the same artist, as far as I know. And that's the problem with Pinterest, as you don't really have already the references. I think it's the only other gouache drawing I have. Penguin, don't know the artist, it's a reference. And hen, other studies, yeah, here it's studies, surely line of action 2, I guess. It was in April. Drawing by Angel Ganef. Here I got the model, she's called Tanya, and on Instagram she goes by @DGERQ, now know how to say it. And if you see her, you see that this drawing is not resemblant at all. Here is, yeah, like I said, something I really like to draw is a bit of urban sketching. I also like to have nice pictures of nice places and draw them. So here is the Paseo of the Palazzo Biscari in Catania, Sicilia. This one is the Alcázar de los Reyes Cristianos, and I think this was my first sketchbook session. Just, yeah, the pictures, references and studies. It's by Misha Oplev, so I didn't do a sketchbook session. Anyway, here I was supposed to, it was a bit of a challenge for me. You had only to draw the clothes and not the head, the hands and anything like that, and I was supposed to not draw the end, and I drew it as a dummy. Anyway, another sketchbook session, so I will pass out about it and about Little Nightmares. Another sketchbook session with Fit. So as I said, it's artwork. So it's a mic I have for my camera if I film outside, and it's so really inspired by Eric Goose. Well, the Space Goose. Yeah, this is mini smalls. 30 ways to fill a sketchbook in a week. Hand studies. So up. Oh, some nudity. More nudity. It was for a sketchbook session, and I didn't put it because I really didn't like this one. This one is messed up too. So this was when I was vaccinated, and I did a sketchbook session about it. It was my first dose. Yes, so it's with charcoal, so Ernest Hemingway, Caius Codelario and messed up Alfred Hitchcock. And on the video of the sketchbook session I put the reference. It was an article, I think, that inspired me. Yeah, a study of Rashid Alacroca, a copy of Rashid Alacroca. No, I use different kind of graphite pencils, so as HB, 2H, 2B, 4B maybe. I think it was the Vikings, we had an upcrate, I think. And so the contrasts are really more appearing even with after the watercolor wash. Another sketchbook session with another copy of Serge Biro work. Another copy done Bartley. Yeah, you see that's the problem with this sketchbook. And the end of it. So as it was the last sketchbook session I posted, I guess. So yeah, it's the end. Leuchtturm, 1917. Just nothing interesting here. And so this sketchbook was started in November 2020. I ended it in May 2021. So yeah, it's a bit long for a sketchbook tour, and I already began the next one, this one, in May 2021, and I put it on number 3 because I know it will be the third I will complete. And it's a Studio Artway. You can't really see it right now. Studio Artway sketchbook on Amazon. I'll talk a lot more about it in my maybe next sketchbook tour when it will be ended up, and it will be ended up really soon enough, as I'm already here. Oh, you can see. Yeah, here you can see. Maybe a bit of focus. Yeah, so all this is completed, and this is not. It's 13 pages. to be completed. So yeah, I guess it will be soon enough. This is the end of this second sketchbook tour. I have also another sketchbook going on, which is this one. I began in February 2021. I didn't put a number on it, as it's not my main sketchbook. It's a really small one. It's made by Art Creation. By Talents. I think it's also maybe on Amazon affiliated mark, and it's going on from for a bit, but I'm only page 24, and this is completed, this is not completed, and it's just simple paper. I think I remember, yeah, it's just 140 GSM, not really, it's really light, and yeah, it's 80 sheets, so it's 160 pages. So yeah, it will be for a bit, but it's really small for me to do studies. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it, and as usual, have a nice day, nice evening, nice night, a good night, a great day, anytime you're watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!